Hello, I'm Earl, and welcome to Speaking of Everything. My guest on Speaking of Everything on YouTube, Facebook, and in Hot 99.9 FM radio is the first time on this show. First time. Got a call from her. She said, I would like to come on your show. No problem. We have her here, and she's Miss Diane Felix, right?
Correct.
How are you doing?
I'm happy to be here. Happy to have me on your program today.
Well, it's good to have you in the program. How you found out about us?
Well, actually, I read a lot and I do a lot of research. And going through on YouTube, I saw a gentleman that you was interviewing, and then I saw your background logo speak about everything. I say, wow, I gotta get on this program because my policy and belief is agriculture, and I believe it's something that we need to target more and look into it, because agriculture is a need. And every country that I visit and I go to, every island, they hold on to agriculture, and I believe an island without agriculture is doomed.
All right, so that's good. You know, this is the oldest television show in Zimbabwe. We over 40 years now.
Wow, congratulations.
So it's good to have you in the program. Agriculture is important. Over the years, I've done a lot of shows on agriculture.
I didn't know.
We haven't gone anywhere. You know, we've done a lot of shows. We used to be in broadcast television before, like LBC TV, then we went to cable, and we found out now that YouTube we're reaching more people. In fact, we're getting people from all West Africa that are watching this show.
Wow.
So it is amazing. Really amazing.
Excellent.
So I'm happy to have you to speak about what you're doing.
Yes, because agriculture, it's a part of each and every one of us. If you doesn't plant, you cannot eat. And we has to know that food safety and food shortage is happening all over the Caribbean island. And I want to bring awareness to our young people that we need to take agriculture very serious and develop it as a job. Because if you does not plant, you cannot eat. And what we see after Irma and then after the COVID, we did had a shortage of food on the island and goods, and we see we had different issue with the water system and things. So I believe if we develop agriculture, we could live by it and also develop the economy part of agriculture. It's not only planting, but there's another vast part of agriculture on the island that we need to develop. Is develop, for example, if we planting coconut, we could also, has the coconut, use it for compost, and then also we could reproduce the coconut by have it, the waste, use it, we could sell it, and also sell it back to plant it in plants. And then you could sell the coconut water. Then you have the coconut products that you could transform to make soap, cream, and different cosmetic products.
You know, the thing is that during COVID, a lot of people turned to agriculture. By that time, my wife was already planting all kinds of different things in pots on the porch, and it helped us a lot.
Yes, because God did not create us to get up every day and work hard and go in the shop. He created us to enjoy our food, our labor, that when we produce, we will enjoy what we eat from and what we work hard from. For example, when you're cooking, you could go in your backyard garden and you'll able to cut the side, the tomato, and put it direct in the pot. So this is where I'm developing this program and letting all the restaurants on the island know that they could plant also in pot and out of pots, and where they could use these natural produce to give to the tourists and also the locals too that live here. We will eat from the garden to the pot.
But you know what's amazing about this, Ms. Felix, is that when we eat cucumbers that are grown in our yard, right?
Yes.
In pots, it's amazing the taste.
Of course, it's different taste. Yes, because why? You know exactly what type of water you use, if it's alkaline water, and you know also how long it will grow, and you also monitors and see, well, this is what I grow. Because now a lot of people is planting, but they're using a lot of different fertilizers and chemicals.
Is that good or bad?
It is dangerous for your health and also for the soil. Because when you pollute the soil, you poison out the soil, so you doesn't have the roots growing back easily.
I notice a lot of people go to places and buy soil in a bag. Is that good?
Yes, you could do a mix, natural soil from St. Martin, because we has rich soil, and we has good protein in our soil and potassium, magnesium. So we have to sometimes mix, sometimes you could do it direct. It all depends on what it is you are mixing, because there's Dr. Ellen on YouTube that you could follow, and she will teach you the different process and able of building your own compost.
So now tell me, how did you get started in all of this? I understand you have a company too, you do different things?
Yes, my company name is Diane Multi-Services. It's a cleaning company that I own. It's on 8 years now that I clean for locals. I also teach people to clean their home, and I make natural cleaning products. During the years, I noticed that we has a lack on this island. We have a lot of chemical that's coming, flood the island, but it is not good for our health. So these products that I create is all natural, and you could use them in different forms.
Well, let me ask you, you have one here.
Yes.
Called Exodus 30?
Exodus 30.
Why Exodus 30?
Because as a woman of God, I believe that it's the Lord that has inspired me to able to do things. And I was inspired by God to able to create my own natural product. And that's my label. It's Exodus 30 because it's an excellent product. And in the book of Exodus 30, it's prosperity.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, it's amazing because when you look at this island, how it has changed. It's not often that I see our own people get involved in business.
Well, I was always young person, very active, from very young. My first business I had at 14 years old.
Really? Wow.
Yes, because I always believe in entrepreneurship, always to build and be skillful. So while going to school, I used to sell shoes, to put the hair tie up. And I used to sell them $1. Then after I get others more bigger for like $5. And I was always a business-oriented person, always an inventor. I always love to discover new things and to take my level up to a higher level. And I, from very young, was always motivated into business. And my first business was selling, products that I buy and I sell back. And then after I said, I need to create my own label. And this label will be Diane Multi-Service with the cleaning product, because I wasn't working for a long time. I had about 10 years not working because of spiritual growth. The thing that happened is that I was looking for a job, but nothing wasn't coming. And I had 10 years not working because of the Lord did want me to go into the prison ministry. So I obeyed, and I went there for 10 years and ministered the gospel to the young people faithfully. And then after the 10 years, he told me, now you could go ahead and open your business.
Okay. So, and how's it been so far?
Great. I don't have a sort of big contracts, but people know me out there. They know my product is good. They are happy with it. So now I'm going to expand on the international Caribbean market and also the other expansion on big products, because I make now that I launch out a new product that is good to clean the bins, the garbage bins, and also the streets. And also you could use this product with the rust, anything that rusts on your floor, it will take out. So this is a new product that I'm launching officially very soon with another company in Martinique, my associate, because this is what we need on the island to clean up the garbage bin, the garbage truck, and also the streets. And I give some samples because it's not no chemical strong. It's something that I mix with other material, and I'm gonna expand with the Sargassum a new product too. I'm gonna be launching. That will be happening with someone I met when I went to the conference in St. Lucia, and I told him I want to explore a new product in Sargassum.
Well, that's amazing, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's, I gradually, as I get inspired, I create.
I want to jump back to Exodus because
yes, Exodus
I'm curious
30.
after hearing you say what you.
Well, Exodus 30 is my top line product. My first product.
And you made this from scratch.
From scratch, yeah. Exodus 30 do wonders. You clean your bathroom, your stove, your oven. You clean the walls. It removes stains, and also you can wash your clothes with it, especially the white clothes. It's very good. I created, and then my son said, "Mommy, you don't know what you have created, but clothes smell nice and they stay white."
That's great. In case you've just joined us, this is Speaking of Everything on YouTube, Facebook, and on Hot 99.9 FM radio. I'm speaking here with Miss Diane Felix, a young entrepreneur here in St. Martin, and it's good to have you in the program here with us on Speaking of Everything. Now, with all of this that you're doing, and you said you have a partner in Martinique.
Martinique, yeah.
So you're going to branch out throughout the Caribbean?
Yes. With African Amundos, it's movement that I'm a part of with Marcus Garvey. I represent them here locally in the Caribbean, St. Martin, but we branch off all over in the Caribbean. And we'll be officially launching out on the 13th of December in Curacao.
In Curacao?
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
And we are invited.
Why Curacao? I'm curious.
Because we starting from there, and then we're gonna bunch off. So with African Amundos is a project that I has, and it's working officially. It's going to be launching in January, where we'll have the Caribbean products go to Africa and the local African products coming to the Caribbean, where they're going to be labelized, and we will have our product, our local St. Martin product on the market legally.
Now, for people watching the show, they say, well, what about America? What about Europe? Any plans?
Well, what happened, we need to know that we are Caribbean brothers and sisters, and I believe we start at home first with who we know, because here it's a melting pot, and we know that in St. Martin, you will understand me because we are one people, and my people represent your people. And once our people know it's something come out of St. Martin, they will give you 100% their support. And I believe by netting into the Caribbean arena, we'll able to build a stronger economy and to have a bond with the Caribbean brothers and sisters.
Yeah. No, it's been so difficult for this region over the years in terms of, say, travel. If I want to go to St. Kitts, it's cheaper for me to fly to New York, and St. Kitts is just, I can see St. Kitts on a clear day.
Yeah.
You know? But it costs me more money to go from St. Martin to
St.
Kitts than from St. Martin to New York, and it shouldn't be like that, you know.
Yeah, but everything is done by design, and as our minds is being rising up, we taking a stand, we landing off the ground, and we're going to fly high. The Caribbean is on a rise, and we're going to see a lot of changes. And also physically, and also we're doing trading into goods, and also we're going to build stronger bonds by having the airline, the plane, the boats developed. They're going to be having express goods, going to be flying into the Caribbean, which is a boat going to be taking people into the Caribbean.
Really? Yeah.
Yes, it's a lot of new things is coming out and going to be happening speedily, and also cargo boats, because once you know you have the right people in place to file for the international license on the water, you'll able to move a lot of things than before, because we see the problem is the cost of living is very high, and we cannot maintain that anymore. So we have to look for different ways that we will able to have access, like $99 the ticket to fly into the Caribbean. It is happening. It's not that I'm not there to promote them, but I read and I see that when I being invited into all of these conferences, when I go to Martinique and also Grenada, Trinidad, when I go to Barbados, and also interregional conferences, because agriculture is my main focus. they also invite me as a panelist. I debate a lot on trade because the island need to start back trading strongly because everything cannot be imported. It's not possible because here on the island we has 80% of everything that's being imported, and this need to stop because we giving out more than we are building and has in our coffers. So this is why I want agriculture to be developed, because I believe if we produce our own local food, we wouldn't have to depend on the boat to come in here. And the day that any incident happen, because we have terrible storms that rage in this island every year, we could be able to eat from our local produce.
Let me ask, are you surprised, because you mentioned Martinique, and Martinique is one of my favorite islands, a beautiful island.
Oh, yes.
People are really nice. And they have agriculture and they have fish, and it's amazing what they have compared to us. Are you surprised at what happened in Martinique just recently with the food issue and the
Well, actually, I know this was coming because they are my colleagues, my friend. I picked them up also, Rodrigue, Gladys, and Audrey, because when I was there to the debate, I tell them the truth. And the truth is that it's y'all that allow these things that is happening, because the colonial master has colonized them for many years, and they never did figure out a way to come out of that system, because they're not chaining us anymore, but they are slaving us mentally, physically, and spiritually by having us in bondage, by keeping the country down. There's only one part of the island having, which is the Bickies. They is holding down the economy, and the Martinican, which is the hard working industrial people that build Martinique, they taking their land from them, and they also taking away half of the economy. So what happened, the people see that when they travel out to France, they eat properly, and in their own country, they cannot eat properly. With 50 euro, you only could buy 2 things in a shop, and how could you survive and feed your family and pay your bills? It is ridiculous. So it's like 200% higher. So what is the cause? It's because France, the colonial master, has colonized them, and they has passed a contract. And this contract that they has passed, it's like the money, what they collect from Martinique is to pay the collectivities, to pay the mairies, to pay all of these high entity. That's why they could touch a salary of 300,000. The deputies in France and others high parliamentarian. So that is the reality and the problem. And the serious problem about it, Martinique will revolt, Guadeloupe, Saint Martin, Nouvelle-Calédonie, Kanaki also, because why? The people is tired of being walked over, and also there's no solution. There's politicians there that they just elect, but they're not defending the reality, the cause of the people. How could you, from an island belongs to Martinique, Guadeloupe, Martinique, Saint Martin, Mayotte, Guyana, and you're not eating properly in your country? The prices that France has, it's like they taxing the people and overtaxing the people on the port with the containers double, and no one checks into that. It's like there's no price control, and when they bring in these goods, it's mostly French goods. Even though Martinique is an island that plants and develop, they eat from their local produce, but there's certain things that is abuse. The housing prices is raising, the water, the light, the electricity is raising, and also when the colonial master put the price, he's not going to favor you by bringing down his price, and our local people not getting work. So it like all the money they have saved for many years, send their children to school in France and come back, they're not getting the positions, they're not getting the right treatment that belongs to.
That sounds familiar. That sounds like St. Martin.
But that's what is happening, because everything is by design. They have designed it right out and put it that way, that who got already will survive, such as the politicians and other people that has it already, and other people that struggling to able to survive. It's like a poverty island, and also an island where you see the rich get richer and the poor get poor.
So with agriculture, and that's one of your focus, right?
Yes.
You're saying that will be important. You brought along some pictures, so share with us what you have on agriculture.
So agriculture is my main target in discussion that I want everyone to know on the island. We need to hold on to agriculture. Agriculture will be St. Martin's first economy if we develop it good. And I'm asking urgency that we will move and have the young people being paid more than the minimum wage in agriculture, because it's not only a hard job, but you have to get up 5 o'clock and put in the hours.
Right.
And once we have the young people to work on our land in agriculture, we will be able to eat properly. So we has a problem on this island is the monkeys.
Oh boy.
The monkeys is affecting each and every one of us. So they are coming close to the city, the monkeys, because they are battling people.
They are battling people?
Yes.
Explain that.
So they has power in their hand, which is they love palm nut. And the palm nut they must eat. So they know how to take the big rocks and crack the palm nuts. So when they take the palm nut out of the tree, they has to survive because they like nuts, they like greens, they also love to eat our fruits and vegetables. So I am calling urgently on the north and southern side government to look into this matter urgently, because we are a tourism island. They are flooding into pig paradise.
Yeah.
Now on the island, when I do the survey, it's about 2,000 in each area.
Really?
Yes.
But they never used to be in St. Martin before.
But you know, here people is not eating properly, so they have everything as a business. After the zoo being mashed up, they bring in or they multiply very fast.
Yeah.
And these monkeys, they also land on people's roof and they poach.
Yeah.
So sometimes they go in your house, they thief your bag.
Wow.
Yes, because why? They are also provokers too. They love to provoke people, and they also love to eat down our trees. So this is a hindrance for agriculture. So I want us to look into this very urgent, and their poop could get us sick too.
Really?
Yeah. In Thailand, they walk, so we could give them some work too.
To do?
No, they walk.
I know.
They
I see them on YouTube.
monkeys, harvesters. They go and catch the coconut,
right,
and then they bring them down, and they get a reward, a treat. Yeah. So we could find work for them, or we sterilize them, or sterilize them that they will not produce. Or we could create a monkey zoo or a farm. Or we could even sell back the monkeys and have them transform into different products.
But just next door, Sinkits.
Yes.
Have monkeys, but they don't have the problem that we have.
Yeah, because we on this island doesn't understand is that the government need to go back up in the hills and plant. Because after Irma and all the heavy rains and the flood, a lot of trees that St. Martin be losing out. We has nothing up there for them to eat. So they are coming closer to the city to eat, because why? There's no one going back up on the hill to plant, no popa trees, no soursop trees. So they coming down to eat what we has.
And we're building houses in the hill too.
Yeah, so it's like a takeover too.
Yeah.
So they come back now to take over from us. So I'm asking that we look into a project to able to have them captured. Right. Because this is a way also we could create work too for our young people, to have them to capture, make cage to capture them.
Right.
Yeah, and then also we has the rats.
Rats. Oh yeah, they've been around for a long time.
No, these here is spreading.
Really?
Yeah, they in our garbage, they in our agriculture farms, they eating up everything. So we need to look into have a system to eradicate them.
Is that different than the rats we had before?
No, they bigger now. This is local St. Martin.
Wow.
They eat a lot.
Look like a New York rat.
No. We have some big thick rat that's passed on our electric lines.
Yeah.
And we need to look into that too, because they are spreading like wildfire.
I said New York rat because I know in New York City there's some huge rats.
But we having them the double huge, because remember we have the Chinese shops and thing. that we need to look into when they throw the boxes and also the garbage from the shop to have it clean up, and has the government look into what is important in this island.
They're also a health issue, those rats.
Yes, so their poop also could get us sick and is poisonous. So we have to look into that, because they could go into the water filters and also the how do you call it in English? The gouttiere.
They also dig holes in the ground, right?
Yes. Yeah, and they spread a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we have another situation here.
What's that?
This is the white flies. The white flies that be on our island April, June month. And these white flies, they be eating out our plants. So we need to have deep research and has a treatment to look into the white fly that's stopping agriculture on this island.
So you said what months again you mentioned that?
In the month of April, May, June, that's the season for them. Yeah.
And do they leave anything on the plant?
Well, they eat it out. That's why you see sometimes the plant will be like black.
And that's what...
Yeah, these white flies. There's a season in St. Martin that they just spread.
Wow.
And also, you could use neem, the neem bush.
Yeah.
You could blend it, and then you could spray it very well. And you could use the Savon de Marseille and black soap.
I'm watching the picture you brought here, and there are many of them on a small little part of the lake.
Yeah. That's what they do. They spread like wildfire, these white flies. And it's time that we look into that, have a program, have our young people create work into agriculture, where they could go and flip the plants by the local areas around the hotels. And because this is something we really seriously has to look into.
And the white fly seems to be under the bottom part of the leaf, not the top.
Yes. Yeah, they hide, they hide. So this is something that stopped agriculture from growing in St. Martin.
Okay.
Yeah. And we have also the black snails too. I didn't take no picture with them.
But this one here.
But this one is the raccoon.
The raccoon. You were telling me that, I'm shocked. We have raccoons?
Yes, we have raccoons on the island.
In Somalia?
They are spreading and multiplying, these animals.
They got Somalia?
But a lot of people here does do, for example, business. They do trading into animals with fowls, raccoons, snakes, and also they bring in a lot of dogs. And I understand pigeon too. So they do a business into that.
So the raccoon is now here in Somalia? Yeah,
but it's spreading also into the farms. And they is what's stopping also agriculture from growing.
It looks so cute there,
Yeah, they hiding, They're hiding, yeah. So all of these could be created for our young people, that we could build cages to catch these wild animals and have a training in place where they will be certified to catch wild animals. That's a hole in the market that we need to look into. They're not
indigenous to St. Martin in a way. They cause a problem to us.
Yeah, but we could catch them and sell them back too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the snail. That's a big snail. They call it
the
big
black African snail. I got to make a picture with them soon.
Are there still a lot of them?
Oh, yeah. They bring them in, so they could cut down our agriculture from growing on the island.
Yeah.
So we need to look into them too, by have them eradicate and get off this island.
Yeah.
So we also have another issue on the island, which is the wild dogs. We have a lot of stray dogs, but I believe
it's a pity though, because I love dogs.
Yeah, but I believe it's a part of our culture, but the government, not in certain side, has to do something. Either we build a system where you could buy the dog, or you could raise dog, and they will have a card, and they could also be hunters, dog hunters for the farms. So we could create work for them also, and we could has them sell also too. Because what happened, a lot of people come here and they buy dogs, or they bring along their dog, and after they get fed up and they just drop them.
Really?
Yeah. So you have them on the port, Galleys Bay, a lot of them, and they're not doing anything. They just let people feed them, and it's not good because they multiply, and then there's no home for them, so they become stray dog and homeless dogs on the island. And some of them are very aggressive too. They could bite you if they're not in good mood.
Yeah, we know they're very intelligent now. Years ago when I was a little boy, you would see many dogs on the street dead. Not anymore. Now they're good. They know how to stop, stand up, watch the car cross the road. It's incredible.
Yeah, but this is part of our culture that we need to recognize them, because there's a lot of people here has 14 dogs, 40 dogs, and it's not good because the scent of the poop is not healthy, and some people do not love to clean the yard.
I have a lot of dogs
in the backyard.
I clean 2-3 times a day. It's
you make a time to clean them, but I believe we need to have this look into seriously on the island.
Okay.
Too much of people is like selling dogs illegally,
that's
and
not good.
not only that, they doesn't have the proper document vaccine for them. Cats also is spreading too. So I believe these dogs, they are not fed well. They need to look into that to find a system to put them in on the both side of the island. Yeah. And then we has a lot of fowls. These fowls, the roosters.
What's wrong with them?
What do you mean? They eating up our crops. Especially they like the rice.
You ever heard about Maurice the rooster?
No.
When Maurice the rooster in France, and some city dwellers moved into the other part of France to live, and they filed a lawsuit against Maurice because they thought he was making too much noise every morning. They lost the case. Maurice won.
Wow.
He was there living all the time. They came from the city, and they went to court, and they lost the case against Maurice the rooster. That happened about 2-3 years ago in France.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm not making up. It's true what I'm saying.
I didn't know that. But I remember someone bought a rooster for 50 euro, and he was living with someone, and she couldn't take the noise. I said, but that's our culture, these roosters, when they wake us up in the morning. I enjoy them, but there's too much, and they eating down the crops too.
Oh, they eat the crop too?
What? They eat everything.
But
this is like a hindrance too.
It's amazing.
For agriculture.
I know a guy, I'm not going to call his name. He's a real bad guy, real bad guy. But at the same time, he says to me, when he feels down and depressed, he go and relax by his cage with roosters. Can you imagine that? And just he feels great after that.
Yeah, I don't mind, because this is an open door for the economy. We could create a rooster farm because we have a lot of them, and they cross the streets. They live their life. And St. Martin, this is part of our culture too. But we need to find work for them and occupy them.
I'm just surprised. I didn't realize that we had a rooster problem.
Yes, because they eat everything.
Yeah.
They picks on everything. They enjoy the rice.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what you left out a while ago?
Yes.
The monkey.
Oh, the monkey.
Don't come back. You know why?
Yeah.
I have a mango tree, right, in the property they have, and the monkeys will come, just pick the mango, bite it, and throw it away. So in the end, all the mangoes are eaten up, thrown out before they're ripe.
Yeah, because what happened is that they are very provoking, the monkeys in them. I know we have some in St. Martin. They like your size. No, they're your size.
They're what?
They are your size.
My size?
Yeah, they're tall.
Yeah.
And they has their family. So we must teach our people not to battle them. Because if you battle the monkeys, they will come back in a group, and they will, how you say that? They will gauge you up. Yeah, and they will battle you, and you could lose your life.
Okay.
So we must not battle them. We must look to cage them and catch them and have a system that they could live by and get rid of them off the island. Because you see, some of the monkeys, I know people that complain to me, they have villas and they bathe in the swimming pool with their family. And when you come around, they're like, what are you doing there?
You're in your old place, I want to know what you're doing there.
Yeah, because it's like it's a trouble to them. So we have to get rid of these monkeys, because, they eat a lot and, sleep all day, and they love being provoking. Yeah. And we have to find a way to invade them and things. So we have to create another job by create young people to, do snappers to snap them out. Yeah.
Let's go back now to the pigeon that you brought.
Yeah, this is a new immigrant that is...
I like how you put it, new immigrant.
No, it just landed,
Just arrived.
Yeah, he just come on the island, and they are big problems, the pigeons. So these pigeons is very intelligent.
You know, pigeons are my favorite bird.
I know, but you know, in Guyana, I was doing an interview. They tell me they eat them.
Yeah.
I don't know, but here we gotta do something about the pigeons, because they has the city in a mess.
It looks different than the ones that we have.
No, this is a new immigrant. I told you, just land. I think he come from South America.
Really?
And he has a name that called Punu. So this pigeon
Punu?
here, yeah. You see, he has a big eye.
Yeah.
But it's like
I have to look out for them. I didn't realize that.
he has a protection over his eye,
It
the
looks
UV light.
looks a little bit like the mountain dove.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
but this is dangerous. This one here, the poop could get you sick.
Okay.
Yeah, and this one here, they spreading like
But we can eat
wildfire.
them?
No, they doing terrible work on this
You
island.
can't eat them?
Well, I'm not encouraging that, you know, but there's pigeon lovers and animal lovers, and I believe we need to look into them to get rid of them, because it's going to bring a big conflict just now, because they are spreading so fast that they are destroying a lot of our crops and our buildings.
Oh, okay.
And, you know, they like the top view, and they are spreading French side, that side, northern side, southern side, Anguilla, St. Bart's. So the government then will fight just now, because why? They never had them in St. Bart's and Anguilla.
And
But
now they have
because St. Martin has so much that they are spreading all over.
What's amazing, because for my audience that listens to the show on radio, or television, they can see this pigeon. For radio, it's like a brown pigeon. Around the eye, it's a black circle.
Yeah.
So it makes it look like a bigger eye than what it actually is.
Well, we usually have.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is a new
Right.
immigrant, just land, and multiplying very fast. These pigeons, like 18 to 90 eggs.
Wow.
They make every 3 days. So we have
What?
we has to get rid of them.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but they're spreading. They're taking over the city like
Yeah.
crazy, and also the crabs.
All right. So, you have anything else? Any other picture you brought along that you want to share with us? Or
A lot more.
yeah, let me see what you
Yes,
you have.
a lot of interested topics.
I tell you what we're gonna do.
So we has
I'm gonna ask you to hold that thought there, right?
Yeah.
Hold that for a while. What I'm gonna do is, because I have to go to a break.
Sure.
And when I come back, you can put it down for the time being to relax you.
Yeah.
When we come back, we're gonna continue. In case you've just joined us, this is Speaking of Everything on YouTube, Facebook, and on Hot 99.9 FM radio. I'm my guest on the program for the first time in over 40 years. I'm now getting some new guests. It's Miss Diane Felix, and she's a young entrepreneur. When we come back, we'll continue to speak with her right here on Speaking of Everything. In case you just joined us, this is Speaking of Everything. I'm here speaking with Miss Diane Felix. She's an entrepreneur, and then we're talking about all the things she's doing. Now, I want to go back to the pigeon, because you were saying something to me during the break about that pigeon.
Yes, the pigeon, you could create from the pigeon gunpowder. You could also has leather belt and jacket made with the pigeon.
Really?
Yes, and they are very intelligent. They could count from 1 to 9, and they know the ABCD by heart. Very intelligent, but you know, back then these pigeons used to be the fax. They used to carry the message during war,
yeah.
and they also was how to say that. A lot of people used to use them back then in the Bible as sacrifices.
Oh, okay.
But these pigeons here that we have, it's a new breed, a new immigrant that come, but they flooding the island, and we need to look into that. It's not the regular
It's to be welcome
dark
everybody in
pigeon.
St. Martin, but this one is not a nice one right now.
No, because it's taken over the island by storm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we could develop new sicknesses and disease with this pigeon
I'm
thing.
glad you brought that to my attention because I'm going to look out for them and see if I see them.
Oh, you will see them. Trust me. You know.
Now I know what to look for, actually.
Yeah, this is them.
Yeah.
And I'm allotting the north and southern government side to look into it because you see the island has changed a lot, especially for these new immigrant that is coming in without document and they are spreading. We need to able to put some barriers and has them being taken care in different form.
I want to jump a little bit here to just draw your attention to
Yes.
another immigrants.
Yes.
Because if you notice since COVID, right, and that won't come up in a while, but since COVID, I've seen, if you drive in St. Martin, you can see all the new immigrants, those on two legs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm not talking now about the birds, and I'm talking those on two legs.
Oh, yeah.
Coming from all over the world. Okay? And I think if we're not careful, this little island is going to be just overrun. I mean, I love everybody. I love everything. Animal, birds, two-legged, four-legged, five-legged, what have it. But
I agree 100%. But the north and southern side have to understand that we have a big problem that we call mass immigration. And that I did champion it during my campaign for election. I wanted to create a multi-center, which is the north and southern side will work together and double up on the Dwanis, the immigration, and put one center together by having border control, and also they are disrupting St. Bart's because a lot of people is not from these islands is going over on boat and holding up people that live in villas in St. Bart's. Yeah. And they taking their jewelry and their money and they coming back to the island of St. Martin, not being checked.
So you said you ran for office?
Yes, I did.
Tell me a little about that.
So I did run for the European election this year. That was on the 8th of June, 2024. It was the first time in history that Black people has put in 1 month a list together. And our list was picked the first. We did not win, but it was 82 persons on the list. And I was well placed on the list. I was candidate number 10. Then I had my other colleagues, which is Richardson Freddie. He was candidate number 12. And then I had my colleague, which is my right hand, Brooks Claudine. I shined the light on her. She was also on the list. And we was Guadeloupe, Martinique, St. Martin, Guyana, but we were representing. Yeah.
Wow.
That's why we had the shaking in France with Macron, and that's why they had to do back election because of our party that opened up the warmness, the ants nest. They didn't expect it. But you know, change is happening every day and a lot of surprises that take place. And then I ran for this year election on the island of St. Martin as deputy for St. Bart's in St. Martin. So I was the first Black woman that went to St. Bart's and campaigned with an open mic. They have never seen that in history.
Really?
They never see that. They have never seen a politician like I went down there and ran for the first time. They was like, but who's this woman? Because I was campaigning live and they, you know, St. Bart's is very quiet and
it's my favorite place. I really love St. Bart's.
And they was so amazed to see that, and I marked their life and bring change into their lives. They up to now, I have a record over there, a history record in St. Bart's that they told me about.
Well, that's quite interesting.
Yeah, I'll be going down in history because they never see something so, and they was happy. I didn't get their full response, but they did love my program because it's about agriculture. So we has a mass immigrant that is taken over the island by storm.
The green monster.
Oh, these, but you know, it have four type of
I changed
iguana.
the picture because of the chroma key, but go ahead, it's all right.
Yeah. So we has them green, we has them yellow, we have them gold.
But they change colors too, right?
Yeah, because they are UV
Yeah.
light. They are sun worshippers. They love the sun. So this here is very destructive to St. Martin. The iguana is taking over this island. Massive immigrant. So we has to get rid of them.
Or they're pests.
Yeah, but they are taking over.
Yeah.
You know, one iguana, female and male, they have 40 eggs in them.
Yeah.
And they multiply over 90,000 eggs in 1 year. That's too much.
Yeah.
And they are digging holes with the eggs, and then you cannot penetrate. So we has to look into them very fast, because
What if everyone have dogs? Like I have dogs, so they don't come in the yard. If one falls in the yard, he's dead.
yeah, because that's why I told you, St. Martin, we have some dog snatchers. They are trained. They catch the iguana and they rip their neck off.
Yeah, exactly.
And I never saw that, but a lot of people
my
tell me
dogs do it completely off.
Yeah, but they are destroying agriculture,
Yeah.
because of our agriculture not growing on the island. They eats up everything and they doesn't think on us.
Yeah.
They pass before. It's like there has a timer on them where they know when it's ripe to go to the
Exactly.
tree.
Yeah.
And I ask myself, but after you cut on one tree, they take over the other tree, so they has to go.
I saw with the papaya tree I had because it was next to the wall. So
Yes.
my dogs couldn't get to the iguana.
Wow.
So the iguana was watching the papaya, and you could see observing, making sure when it's getting ripe, and they're just moving and went with it.
Wow, but they has to go, because we has to look into that, like building iguana catch them like traps, but also we have to maybe look for a system where we could sterilize them or have an iguana farm.
But we didn't have these problems before.
Yeah, because all type of people is coming here
Doesn't
and
matter
doing
now.
all type
Everybody.
of illegal business. Some people eat iguanas because
Yeah,
it's
curacao is a delicacy.
protein.
Yeah.
And even some people tell me, don't talk about that, because there's iguana man on the island and they're expensive. It's $50 a head for
Yeah.
one iguana. Yeah. And it's a business that we need to look into. St. Martin is very rich, We have to look by opening maybe a
We
restaurant.
gotta spread the wealth too, that we can get the money to, not everybody else coming.
But
and getting
this
the money, not
massive
us.
immigrant is over flooding the island, that we need to look into it very
Alright.
seriously.
You have any one day you want to move on to it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, that one.
This is the biggest
That's a nightmare.
issue. Yeah. I'm not pleased and happy is the Sargassum. So we has it on the island, not doing anything with it, and we collect over 10 million euro and still not doing no project with it.
So
and they are collecting, they're cleaning off the beach, but they're not producing anything with it. And right now in Trinidad, Barbados, and St. Lucia and the other islands, they are doing the biogas with the Sargassum. They are making cosmetic products for your hair, skin, and also cream for your face to
Yeah.
protect. Yes, with the Sargassum. And they also is building compost with the Sargassum. So we has rich soil and also rich Sargassum and not doing anything with it. So that's a waste in our economy.
Well, I had one of the fourth vice president here. He said when they have the new engine for the power plant, they're going to use biogas.
Yes, saying it, not doing it is a different, it's how to say that, something very serious. Yeah. With this iguana Sargassum, I learned you could put a net and put a net in the sea, could catch them, and the net will able to a safety net to protect them, so we wouldn't have to be digging to mash up the mangrove.
Oh.
And then there's another system too. You could use a system where you could reduce the Sargassum into powder, make it smaller,
Yeah.
and you could sell it back. So there's also a lot of ways.
It smells bad too when it's left on the beach.
Because I don't know how the people in cul-de-sac does able to
The
stay in
smell.
that area because of the smell. It's not good for your health. It's toxic and it's mashing up your inhaling system, all your stomach and thing. So they has to find a system to clean the beach, keep it clean, but also has a transformation economy ways.
I know, like you mentioned that, I know some islands in the Caribbean that had to close down their hotels for a while because the guests couldn't take the smell from
It's
that.
too strong.
Yeah.
And the scent, the spread.
Yeah.
And once you doesn't control the scent, it spread all over in different areas, and it could be toxin to your system. It could cause you to die too. This Sargassum.
All right, so that's
So this is our Sargassum that is spreading all over,
wow.
and we need to look into it to create work for our young people on the island.
Okay.
And we could create also a good economy. So this is a big issue. I want to alert the government and the St. Martin people that we need to look into our sharp mangoes. We have a massive immigrant coming here and enjoying our sharp mangoes, but they're cutting down the trees. And
When last you been to Colombia?
a good while, because
If you go there now, you'll be shocked.
there's no sharp mangoes.
As a little boy, going up to Colombia, you see all these mango trees.
Wow.
They're almost gone.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we really need to have securities on the hill, on the beaches too.
It's because of hurricane too, the blowing down the trees and not replanting.
Yeah, but that's not our culture. Our culture, we are accustomed to eating every year sharp mangoes.
Right.
And I'm not pleased about it. We need to look into that, because a lot of Haitians is not in our culture for them to cut down our sharp mangoes. We need to put securities and look into these sharp mango trees.
You mentioned Haitian, they might say, oh, she's being like Donald Trump, you call it Haitian. So
No. I love every nation, but this is not St. Martin people culture. We does not believe in cutting down our sharp mangoes. They believe in it, the Haitian society, because they want to do colds.
Oh, okay.
But that's not our culture. I'm being firm with it.
Yeah.
When it's not of our culture, we need to let them know. Put signs and put security and warn them that this is a law. It's our culture to keep our sharp mangoes alive. Because when you're cutting out the trees, we have heat wave that is affecting us and killing our economy. So tourists will not come here because they cannot stand the heat.
Yeah.
So we doesn't go back up on the hill and plant, and no one go and check into these things. These sharp mangoes is good for our health. You know, with the mango leaves, you could make mango oil. You also have mango that you could eat from, which is help to protect for our women breast cancer.
Really?
And we has a rise of breast cancer on the island. So when we're not eating the right stuff, the sharp mangoes, how could you expect for our local people, which is my people, which is your people, to survive?
I think what's surprising that you mentioned that, I remember the first time I brought a breast cancer survivor on this program.
Yes.
And that was over 20 years ago.
Wow.
Now we see more younger women with breast cancer, and it's really increasing, like you mentioned.
Yeah, because they're cutting down the sharp mangoes, and it's not every day you got money to go in the shop to buy a mango. But if you go hiking on the hill and go through the hill, you'll be able to have your sharp mangoes. And I know that was one of our ancestral culture, and I would love this legacy to live on for my generation and my children generation.
Okay. So, what else
And
you got?
also there's a big issue. We are cutting down the hills, and the hills is what we need to protect, that we doesn't have some serious earthquake on this island. So I want to send a warning that we must look before we go cut down the hills, because the hills is our protection.
It's happening more on the Dutch side right now than the French side.
Yeah, but the French side has legislation.
Right.
Over here, they need to shape it up and look into it urgently.
Right.
So I'm sending out a serious warning. Our hills need to be, hasn't a law to be protected.
Yeah.
Before we give these big entities any license to build, we need to know first if it's okay.
We have a hillside policy here on the Dutch side.
Mm-hmm.
But it's used to benefit politicians.
Oh, really?
And it's applied towards people with no money. So in other words, if you're a local person, don't have a lot of money, but you have property, they're going to apply it to you. You want to build a little house in the hill? Oh, well, you know what, Ms. Felix, you can't go above 200 meters, so therefore you can't build your house. And then someone comes in from somewhere else with a little brown bag, drops it off, and then you see this guy's at the top of the hill. It's corruption, it's called. And that's unfortunate what's happening here on this island.
I agree with you, but I want to send a warning to be careful. with the hills, because cutting out the hills, it is not safe because it will rise earthquake.
And
so I believe we could use the hills for agriculture.
You have mudslides too.
Yes, and heavy rain and rocks that I'm going to be mentioning very soon. So this is where we see it's pure gas.
But that one there, what's that?
This one is a geothermic. It's a new form of what do you call a plan. So in Guadeloupe happening right now, they has received the license to have the geothermic, which is the boiling water and bouillante.
Right.
This gonna be giving electricity. So I hope that St. Martin will learn, because they will create a lot of work with that system. And we also has electricity problem, but we could use this system. It's water that is hot boiling, that is transforming into electricity, energy.
Right.
So this is the main thing today, is the rice that I promote and teach people to plant rice.
You teach people
to plant rice. Yes.
Here in St. Martin?
Yes, in St. Martin. I give workshop, which is I go around and teach the farmers to able to plant rice. Why?
Okay.
Is because I believe St. Martin will have our local rice production very soon.
So
but we need
to do that. I mean, I'm so curious. I know I run out of time, but I'm still going to have to ask, how can I grow this rice that you're showing there?
So I will bring you the green, and when I bring you the green, I will teach you how to plant. It's just with just a little tip you press down in the dot, and then you could have rice in 10 days.
You're kidding me?
Yes, and it's happening. It's happening in St. Martin.
It tastes good?
It is very good. Guadeloupe, Martinique. That,
we don't have to import rice anymore. Everybody have their own little rice. We don't have to import rice anymore.
Exactly. This is one of the mission, and is what's the movement KBM we also speak about. KBM represent Kanuka Boy Emoji, what we will drink and eat tomorrow. And we have another slogan called Deme Shala, tomorrow is done here. So when we teach our young people to eat our local produce and produce rice, we will have rice growing.
Well, I'll tell you what, because my wife is the executive producer of the show, and after the show, I'm going to have you talk with her, because if that's possible, she'll prove it, because she loves gardening and growing vegetables and fruits and everything else. So I'm amazed. And that picture you're showing there, that's a picture taken here in St. Martin?
No, it is one of the rice in Guadeloupe, because they have different platform. We has it coming up, but we need land. The young people need land, the farmers, to able to develop their project and to grow. And also I am sending this urgent call in St. Martin. Secure our land to develop agriculture and give the young people an opportunity of a contract of 10 years and more, that we could have food, local food, grow on this island.
You know, Miss Felix, as you were speaking there, I thought about a gentleman who passed away.
Oh, yeah?
His name was Eduardo Richardson.
Oh, wow.
Now, maybe you don't know him.
No.
But he was on this show 40 years ago, okay? 40 years ago, he was here on this show, and he came back multiple times. And what he did was he was an advocate for agriculture, because he was a farmer.
Yes.
He also said at the time that it was wrong to put houses in Ebenezer area. That's up where Milton
I know what I mean.
Because it was very fertile land. The government didn't listen to him. And let's fast forward now. 40 years later, you are basically saying some of the things that he said right here on this show 40 years ago.
Well, I'm launching out a serious warning. You see, rice now, it is not possible to get any rice in Grenada. The island is shortage on rice. Then you have sugar. No sugar is in St. Lucia.
This is spread in the Caribbean, actually.
Okay.
Many others
and
with others.
No more hot peppers into Antigua. So we has a big problem. No one want to work the land. No one want to do agriculture.
Now you said it.
Yeah, because why? They're not paying. So this is why I want to send an urgent call to all the Caribbean government that they will raise the minimum wage in agriculture, give them more kit to help them to develop agriculture, and help them to have land.
But I'm going to say something, Felix, because I know there's some Caribbean islands that are very selfish. And I'll tell you why they're very selfish. I'll hold it for them for a while. Is that certain fruits and vegetables, they don't allow you to take out of the island. And if you do that, if you're so selfish in a way, then when you don't have it anymore, there's nowhere else to go for it, because you're limiting the export of this particular item. People have to literally smuggle certain plants, trees, out of some of our same so-called Caribbean brothers and sisters islands, and I disagree with that. Although I maybe I'm wrong here, and I'm not going to call the name of some of the items that I know of, but for example, just an example here, sugar. Sugar was throughout the Caribbean.
Sure.
But now a lot of countries no longer, because it's cheaper to buy sugar from other places. And the same thing goes for other products. Just an example.
It is true what you're saying. You know, there is clause in laws of men that they put these things in place and say you cannot import and export rice, sugar, because of certain clause they put, like laws, you can't take this out of countries and plants and seed. But it's St. Martin people's fault, and it's the island fault, and also when we have weak government. Because every island has to build a seed bank. Why is important to build a seed bank? We have to be able to save and secure our seeds, that we could have seeds for 100 years, 10 years. Right. In case any hurricane or earthquake come, we could go into our seed banks, label our peach tree, label our different seeds that we are accustomed of using. And we has hit agriculture a slap in its face and forget that everything you cannot bring in.
You heard of a company named Monsanto?
No.
Monsanto owns basically most of the seeds in the world.
Oh, yeah.
And when you buy their product, you can't replant it. And if you try it, most of the time it doesn't survive.
Yeah, because this seed modified generate. And this is how we're getting the sickness spread in St. Martin, because of big pharma need to eat. So they want to push these type of medication down our throat. So we has to know that more we plant, we live longer and healthy, and we will be the result of what we plant. What we will look like, what we will be planting, look like us.
It looks like you eat what you grow.
Yes, I believe that. I has my grand that I teach her from very young.
You have a grand?
Yes.
So I don't do this, but I have to ask you. And they say you can't ask a lady her name, but her age. But I gotta ask, how old are you then?
I'm 46,
okay,
and I'm blessed to be alive in the land of the living. Why? Is because for very young I teach my children, but my granddaughter now, I teach her to water our bush and our tea. Yeah. And I say, when you catch the cold, you just have to go, cut it, make mommy make the bush tea, give you.
And she can do that?
Yes. Yeah. And a lot of St. Martin people stop drinking bush tea, and the people of this island forgetting our culture. We need to produce bush tea.
I love bush tea, man.
Yes, this is a part of us, and this is another hole in the big economy that we has.
The small, I remember sometime my mother giving us soul sop.
Yes.
And that was tasting great too.
Yeah, and we still has to promote that, the soursop bush tea, because even in the hotels, we need to let the tourists know this is part of us. The bush tea, the local soursop bush. You know why? I have people in the States tell me, what is soursop? What it look like? And I told them, soursop, you make tea from it. They don't know. They don't know. It's also very good for cancer. And I explain my church brothers and sisters about the soursop leaf. They say there's a lot of sick people in church. I said, I should give them soursop. And now they get to discover what is soursop. And this is a lack of our knowledge and teaching on this island. We have rich soil-rich fruits and vegetables that we need to promote more. And I believe that today, even in the schools, teach them to drink tea, soursop tea, bush tea, and all the different
it's better
teas.
than the other tea you go and buy in the supermarket for sure.
Well, for sure, because the other tea bag has a plastic on it,
Yeah.
and it's mashing up your stomach, and it's not good for your liver.
But what do you feel about us as a people that we eat too much?
This is another teaching that we has to work on our people. I explain people, they say I'm crazy. I say, y'all eat too late. They say, what? I can't get up, eat something, Diane. I gotta be hungry. I said, no, that's not the way. I see here we allow businesses and restaurants to be open after 10, 11. That's too late to put something on your stomach. Our ancestors used to eat like 4, 5 o'clock, that latest. By 7, some of them, so they live longer, 80, 90 years. And this is another culture that we are losing in St. Martin. We could have like a tea, cracker, something after to eat, but something light on your stomach. And this is another teacher our people is losing out. We are losing out big time.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because I was speaking to a guy the other day, very wealthy St. Martin. For generations, the family's been here. And he says to me, Oral, when we were small, we used to have just a little piece of sliced bread, a little tea early in the evening, and that was it.
Yeah, that keep you. Yeah.
He says to me, no, and I said to myself, wow, this guy come from a very wealthy family. He's eating just like I did. Back in those days.
Yes.
So it's a cultural thing, but that has changed now. Now we gobble down big amount of food in the night, and the result, we have a very, very obese problem.
I help my St. Martin people to understand that we have to be careful, because we have a problem that is rising up on the island that we need to look into it very fast. There's a lot of men, they eat a lot of meat, and at the back of their head, they have excess of meat growing.
Really? Oh, okay.
Growing. And you see, most of the time, it's not diluting. They need to operate. It is not good. Then we have some young, obese people with their belly hanging. So it is not a good sign for the island. It's a lot of junk food and not being digested properly. And it's not healthy. A lot of neglects, they're not doing sports, and they're not also visiting the health shop. So there's also a lack of teaching that on this island we are losing out our culture. And we see we are going into a serious phase in St. Martin.
What's that?
This is climate change, global warming. We see a lot of floods, and we doesn't have in place the system to take out these water out the streets. So this is not good. As a tourism island, we need to look into that. And we also see the rocks that come down off the hills. That is very dangerous.
Or you could do like what Martinique did. In Martinique, if you drive along the highways, you see how they protect the hillsides.
Guadeloupe too.
Yeah.
They have a system where they protect our hillside by putting up like a double fence.
Right.
And they have another system too, that when I visit the other Caribbean island, they build stuff to keep the rocks, but to also levelate the hill. And this is a system that we need to look into. And we have a lot of water system, wasting on this island, that we could able to have the tanks to able to use it for our dry weather on St. Martin. We has like 9 to 8 months drought on this island. And we need to look into that.
Actually, I think the last few years it's been even more than that when it comes to what we have on the island, because we have this dry weather and it's really, really difficult. And I think if you're into agriculture, it makes it even more difficult.
Oh, yeah.
Because now you have to understand on the French side of the island, water is more expensive than on the Dutch side. So it costs farmers even more money. So I assume that's an issue too.
This is a big issue, but I find a solution. I bring in a company from Guadeloupe. They dig the well very cheap.
Oh, good.
And they put a system in place that I like. You could pay and lay away.
Yeah.
So they dig the well, they dig the hole, they bring in the engineer expert, to first test the land, get the collectivity approval, the license, and where you could have the osmosis reverse system set up for one price. So it all depends how much feet you want to go to dig your well. If it's 20 feet or 40 feet, depends on what you're going to be using the well for. They have this package in place.
That's important because the groundwater now in St. Martin is polluted.
Yes, but we also has the expert I told you that will be there. They're not just come and dig well and go. They follow up and they also check, and we also do water testing. So this is helping agriculture to grow on the island, and they will expand that side soon too once they get the permit, and also the other islands around.
The reason I asked you that is because when I lived in New York, my sister had a property in upstate New York, and they had a well. So the well was used for drinking water for the house. Now, it's very regulated in New York. So in those days, I'm talking about the late 70s, early 80s. So most people in that region use wells to get the water. What has happened, for example, take St. Peter's area. St. Peter's used to be like the breadbasket of St. Martin. All the fruits and vegetables grown in that valley area. Today now, the whole water table there in St. Peter is polluted with sewage because everyone built their septic tank that drains out into the ground. So that's the reason why I say to you, the groundwater in St. Martin, not all over, but many parts of the island, it is polluted. Yeah.
Well, I sent out a deep urgent warning on the wells, because what I noticed in St. Martin, we does not secure our culture. The wells, them need to be preserved clean. They need to put securities into these inheritance, which is the well, and have them being checked and tested, because they shut down a lot of well on the fence side by throwing cement in them. So
really?
So we could able to pay expensive to the colonial master. But I believe now people is getting aware. Water is a necessity because our body is built up of 70% of water. So we need water to able to have our produce to grow. On the northern southern side, what we has to do, there's different gentlemen that the ageable that know where are these wells. We need to clean them out. We need to test the water and open them back. Because of case if we have a large fire, we could always go to our well. And we could also use the well. For example, I saw in Martinique when I visit, there's big beds of tanks, and they also the larger tanks on the roof, and also for agriculture.
Yeah, I see that, yeah.
And when it's dry season, they use the well and fill up these tanks, and they also has a different system too for irrigation in agriculture.
But let's come back to St. Martin, because St. Martin, after Hurricane Irma, guess what? The wells on the L.B. Scott Road. The L.B. Scott Road is going up to St. Peter's South Ward. After Hurricane Irma, people will line up at the wells. The same wells that we turned our backs on for 40, 50 years, they returned to them after Hurricane Irma. So I can see what you're saying.
Yeah, because that's my strong department that I work in. I dig a lot of wells in St. Martin, test the water. I also...
And the results of the water, groundwater so far?
It's good. The well water is very good. It's just that we do not know how to treat it and put the system, because on the fence side, a lot of people sell water, it's well water that they test. But all of these systems need to be legalized and recognized on our island. And I'm sending an urgent warning that because of the drought, 8 to 9 months, we need to open the wells for agriculture to grow. And coming back to the reality, global warming. Yes. So we need to plan back and take care of our planet, because if we building our homes on this island and living, we has to preserve our planet. And we see the world is changing. You see what it mark? That we need to look into the global warming and climate changing by planting more. This is our culture that we forget. We're not planting enough on this island. You know, there's no more fruit trees and also vegetable trees on our island in the hill. So I'm asking urgently that we look into this matter.
Yeah.
The climate change is very important because the heat wave is taking over.
Well, we could only do so much. And here's where I think we disagree in that we're a small island. We are 0.000000001% of the world. And people will say, well, or maybe you're wrong because we can't really make a change unless others do it. And what has happened actually with global warming is that you have all these huge countries that have benefited from it, caused the problem, and now they look to us and say, well, you got to fix the problem. It's not our problem.
Sure.
While they benefit, and then they create a whole big thing about this thing. It's become a whole big money thing. With credits and so forth. It's a lot of baloney. And that's one of the reasons why you'll find a person like myself, I am not one of the people who are advocates for it because it has to be really global, and it's not global. And when it becomes global, at the same time, it becomes monetary, and we don't benefit from it, others do. That's how I feel about it.
I agree with you 100%. But you see, we just always vote the wrong type of candidate into power, because when they go to the European Parliament and thing, they has people to represent us there for St. Martin, but it does not talk about it because it does not affect them enough or their mind on it. They don't understand. There's not putting things in priority. We have to put things in priority because every 5 years, 10 years, we get hurricane and the island is changing. So if we ask for a certain amount of money into the European department, there's money available, but we doesn't tap into these coffers to able to collect this money to develop St. Martin.
Yeah.
And also the last point is waste. It's all attached to agriculture. So I believe we have too much garbage on this island that we need to have it into transformation.
That one I blame the government for, because if you look at garbage and garbage disposal, it's just unbelievable what has happened on this island.
True.
Now, you see the garbage island in the Great Salt Pond.
Yes.
Right? I don't know if you remember the Great Salt Pond, what it looked like.
Before, and then.
And now today, it's a mountain. And it's growing. It's so huge now that some parts of the island you can't even see because of this man-made mountain, garbage mountain, that exists in the middle of the most beautiful Great Salt Pond in the world.
Yeah, and that should not be, because that's not a part of our culture. With this waste that we are wasting, we could create energy, biogas, and I take a clear picture that you could see all what you could do with the waste on this island.
They know about it.
No, you see what happened, Mr. Oral Gibbs? It makes me do something. Knowing something is good, but not doing something to enlighten the people or putting things in place, it don't make sense.
But you know why? Because we're selfish and we're corrupt. And if we don't benefit financially from it, then we don't want anything to do with it. Take it from me, I've been around there, I know exactly how politicians are, what they're doing. Yeah,
but let me make sense something. I agree 100%. You see, St. Martin, I don't know if it's a sleeping mood we are in, but we need to wake up, because the world is changing and things is changing, and we cannot expect to go in this type of phase by making other benefit of what we need to benefit and giving others the better part of St. Martin and not taking care of the waste in St. Martin. Because there's a lot of things could be done with the waste. They could create work, and also they could create compost for agriculture.
Yeah, right.
So there's a lot of money wasting, and we keep seeing our economy is going down because we're not doing anything.
Because I said before, we are not going to do anything if it's not beneficial to us as individuals. And that's our biggest problem. I have spent the most part of my life as an advocate for this island and the people of this island. Over 40 years in television alone. okay, in broadcasting. The same people that I go out and put my life on the line for are the same people that have the worst things to say about me, and they don't even know me. So, when people see that, no one else wants to support. I don't even want to do what Oral Gibbs is doing because he's not. There is just no regard for what he's doing, and what you hear is all negative. And if you ask the person, "Oh, what he did to you? You know him?" "No, I don't know, but I just don't like him." "Well, you don't like him?" So, being an advocate for St. Martin, they're gone. They're finished. There's no one in St. Martin have done what I have done and what my family have paid a price for. And I listen to you. Believe me, I love St. Martin. You love St. Martin. It hurts me. And it hurts. But I have to say this now and again, and you've never been on this show, and you said how you got to know about the show, but we have serious problems among ourselves. If we can't solve those problems among ourselves, we're finished.
Yeah, we had a big issue in St. Martin. We doesn't patronize in the business sector, and also for the young farmers, we need to learn to support
we don't love ourselves. We don't
our
love our own.
And not only that, the northern southern side, they need to put a law that our local produce will be sold in the supermarket at a very good price, and where the farmers could live from it. And no one checks into that. And I find that's very sad, because when I visit Grenada lately into a conference, every local producers, even those that is in the jail, that's also produce, it goes to the shop.
Yeah.
And when it's go to the shop has to take the produce and sell it.
I'm going to give you a reality check here. Both French and that side. We all know who brings in the food, who sells the food. They have political power.
Yeah.
Real political power that you and I don't have. So every time there's a campaign going on, they get their donors go out and they make sure they support certain politicians. So everything you're saying there, I love it. But realistically, it will not happen. It will not happen because most of our people as politicians go to these same people for funding.
Yes.
And if we continue like that, then we will never achieve what you're trying to achieve here.
Well, actually, my project I have is to open a local market on the French side. Even that is a problem because they're not listening, they're not responding. And Guadeloupe, Martinique, and other regions, every district has a local market. And that could be one of our income for the local people to live from and live by.
Let me just let my audience know that in case you just joined us, this is Speaking of Everything. I'm Oral Gibbs here with Ms. Diane Felix, and she is a local entrepreneur. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Hot 99.9 FM radio. I'm going over with you because I think it's so important what we're talking about.
Very much.
Is that to be able to survive, we have to produce our own food. We realize what happened during COVID pandemic. But today we've already forgotten, and a lot of the people who are planting things are no longer doing it. And you mentioned the islands in terms of making sure that local producers get first preference. Then you're going to have to introduce tariffs. And if a tariff means that if you import something, say, for example, if all of us now grow our own little rice, as you mentioned.
Yes.
Right? And the big supermarket decide we're going to undercut it, we make it so cheap that it doesn't pay to grow your own rice. Then the government will have to introduce a tariff and say, well, if you want to import rice, guess what? You're going to have to pay X, Y, Z. And then the same people are going to complain and say, well, you know what? Rice become too expensive. This, that. It's a double-edged sword. And it's so complicated for a small. I'm just pointing out the good and the bad and the ugly here. And this is, we have to be cognizant of all these different issues that are taking place. And I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to
very well, 100%. Yeah. I agree with you. But in Grenada, they pass a law that no more chicken, certain goods will not able to come in their country. Why? It's because they want their people to hold on to agriculture. So now they can have 20% of products coming in, and the rest is banned legally. So we have to take a stand. Whether we like it or not, it will happen, because we don't have enough help the workers to go out to walk the field. What I'm putting in place with XXM Voice of Agriculture, I'm going to be sending over 1,000 young people from the island to the different islands and countries to work.
From the island, you say?
Saint Martin, French and Dutch. Why? Is because, well, there's a lot of people that not working. But what I'm saying, we do not have the people here that I need to develop. For example, if I said I coming up with a program to catch the iguanas, the rats, the monkeys, who here trained to catch wild animal? Nobody. Who certified? Nobody. Who here trained to build cage? Nobody. Who here also in this island has the knowledge and knowable to do the Sargassum system? Nobody. So we people need to take education very serious and put a serious training center into agriculture and all what we need to develop this country, because education is a big lack. So when I was send them out to, for example, Martinique need 1,000. They has the population that is growing old. So the young people that is there, they do not want to work. All of them want to go France.
But no,
in Guadeloupe, it's the same thing.
But you see, you remember what I told you about Eduardo Richardson, the agriculture guy, 40 years ago?
Yes.
And you ever heard of a guy named Claude Waddy?
Yes.
Okay. No, Claude Waddy was the political boss of somebody, right?
Mm-hmm.
Been on this program many. In fact, he holds the record for the most times on this program. And he says to me one time, he said, "Oh, the local man don't want to go into agriculture. He wants his son and daughter to wear a white shirt and a tie and hotels and all of that." At the time, it sounded like kind of mean, but it's true. Nobody wants to be in agriculture. And not only in St. Martin, it's throughout the Caribbean area.
Because it's a lie they condition us with. A white man come from France, kind of, a jacket with a collar. He have a tie. Everyone respect him because he's an engineer, he's in environment, he get paid good, and he has his farm. But you see what happened? We don't value what is good. Black people, we need to value what is good. We come from the earth, the dirt. We're going back to dust. We need to know that when we change our mind concept of thinking, agriculture ain't got no money. Right now in the Caribbean, Jamaican, Guyanese, they are millionaires. Because why? What they produce is what they live from and what they could able to sell to their country and out of their country. And we cannot depend on Dominica boat to be coming here because they don't have enough to feed their people. Right now, everything is limited, you see? So certain things that what they used to bring for us on the island is not coming in anymore. And we must not fool ourselves. They don't have enough to feed their people, not only Dominica, St. Lucia to the other islands, St. Kitts, because the population is growing. We need to change our concept in St. Martin. The younger generation is coming. When I look at the lycée, when I look at the schools in St. Peter's, when all these young people come out of school, we can put them, everybody can work in the office. We have to develop agriculture.
They're going to France.
No, France don't. I mean, everything now is limited. Yeah. France doesn't want to see them and don't have space for all of them, neither Holland. So we cannot keep fooling ourselves. Agriculture need to be presented in all the schools as a program from very young that they could build that into their system and also work the ground. Because when I question the other people I visit, the farms, because I visit a lot of farms, and they tell me, I see my mother growing up doing agriculture. I see my father growing up doing agriculture.
They say it looks hard.
They didn't know nothing else but to go work the ground, and they learn from doing agriculture at school, then at home, and they didn't have no choice. I saw in Grenada, the farmers, they works agriculture for farms, and they own their farm. So they has a double income. There's no low standard. Everybody eat.
Well, yeah, but you see, look, I do my own yard.
Yes.
I cut my own yard. And
Yes.
people will pass and say, "Oh, Gibbs, what you doing, man? You're cheap. You can't get Haitian to do that for you, boy." You know, and so I've been doing it for more than 40 years, cutting my own yard. Yesterday I spent an hour cutting down some planting on the trees and cleaning out the yard and everything else. I'm ready to go.
But it's wonderful.
But people don't want to do that.
Yeah,
we,
but
we prefer to pay somebody just to do the things that we used to do for ourselves and that we can still do for ourselves. We're not doing that.
But it's a mindset gonna change because actually we know that doing agriculture is medically also helping you to release stress and to be motivated to have energy to go in your garden, and it helps you exercise so the blood to flow in your body. But what I want to say also too, there's a big problem. A lot of people do not understand that in St. Martin, we need to stick in our garden and develop backyard garden. Now, you know, there's aquaponics that you could have a little piece of land and use it to grow your own fruits and vegetables. Right. So if you have a piece of land in St. Martin, not doing anything with it, give it to the young people to develop projects of agriculture.
Right.
Because why I am motivating them to say that is because it's too much apartments, and then sometimes you put people in these apartments and it doesn't upkeep the place. And once you have a farm, you could able to live off your farm and develop jobs and change the mindset of the young people. Like, oh, they need this, they need that. It's a fast money. But once they go in the agriculture field, they will know how long it would take you to grow tomatoes, potatoes.
You know, I'm looking at my clock.
Yes.
An hour and a half I've done with you so far. I've never done that with a person who came to the show for the first time. I only have about 5 minutes, so anything else you want to add that you think is important, I'd like for you to touch on that. So,
well, what is
I don't feel like I'm rushing you, but I really...
Yes. What is important that I would say to end this program, I want to thank first Mr. Oral Gibbs and shine the light on your big, because our people do not like to big up our people, but I always recommend and also encourage my people that stick to good on what you are doing, and best to know what you can handle and do, because a lot of talks and no action. And I see you being faithful by keeping up this program and keeping your name too, which is very good. We ain't gonna get everyone to love us, but we know who we are. We know that what we're good at. I know that I'm a powerful speaker, but I also teach and explain, because I want the whole Caribbean island to be shaken, to know that there's no way out of our poverty, but only to develop agriculture, because food safety and food sustainability for our island.
And self-reliance too.
Yes, it's very important, because if we does not plant, a lot of us will get sick because we will not get the right herbs. And also in St. Martin, I want to encourage the people to be at least free-minded by using your land to develop agriculture. Because when you develop agriculture, there's herbs and seeds that you could use to able to help you for cancer, for example. There's training, there's things that you could use for your body, and also you could live longer, longevity. And I want the young people to know that I'm sending an urgent call. There's walk into agriculture by planting, and there's also the business side of agriculture that you will know. For example, we have shortage of food. If you start your farm and you grow hot peppers, chive, tomato, there's a need. And also for coconut, there's a big business in coconut. So once you plant a lot of coconut tree, banana tree, you will live and you're going to do well. And once you're able to produce, with the economy side, you could able to build your home easily, because when the banks see all what you have planted, they'll easily trust you, give you a loan. Plus, you'll have your property insured with your produce. And after, you could use the waste product too to make a living from it by transforming it into clothes, transforming into oil, soaps, and you could develop and build in a strong economy for yourself and for the island of St. Martin.
I'm going to have you back for sure. It's been a pleasure having you in the program.
Thank you.
Miss Diane Felix, right?
Yes,
and,
correct.
You're doing a great job. And
thank you.
I'm happy that I brought you at a short notice. Sorry that I didn't have the pictures before so I could put into the system. Only got them when you came, but I really appreciate it. All right?
Yeah, it's mostly the message I wanted to spread, because it's something that I see our people and our young people is losing out big time.
Well, I'll tell you, I've been doing it for more than 40 years. Right now, I'm so disappointed, and I love St. Martin. And I don't do this for people to love me, because if I used to do this for people to love me, believe me, I wouldn't be doing this. After my family love me, I don't care about nothing else, but I care about the island and the people of this island, and I just want the best for them. And I enjoy having you and hearing what you had to say, all right?
Thank you. Happy to be here and happy to speak to my St. Martin people that look like me, speak like me, and understand me.
All right. Again, thank you. And that's it for now on Speaking of Everything on YouTube, Facebook, and on Hot 99.9 FM radio. See you next time. Take care. Bye.